Hey YouTube, thank you for tuning in to KeKe Life of Tea. And I know you guys like, where's my backdrop? Okay, so this weekend was my daughter's birthday party. We had guests in the house, had to take my backdrop down, and I didn't feel like putting it back up. So I'm like, okay, let's just shoot without it today. So that's what we're gonna do. So today's video is new homeowner tips and things that usually new homeowners forget when moving into their new home. So you guys want to watch until the end to see what I have to say. And don't forget to like this video if you like it in the end. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you hit that bell and to subscribe. So let's just get started. So if you guys see me looking down, that's because I have my paper here of items to tell you all, and I don't want to forget not a single thing, okay? So first thing, a lot of people forget to do this, and it's very important that you do, and it's the number one thing, which is why I'm mentioning it first. The number one thing to do when you move into your new house is to change the locks. Yes. First off, the previous homeowners and whoever else have keys to the house, and you do not want strangers, because the previous homeowners may be strangers or whatever the case may be, to have access to your home. So please change the locks, all locks. If you have like a shed or a garage, change the locks to those doors, change the locks to your front and back door, as well as your basement doors and any other keys and locks that the previous owners may have access to. So don't forget that. Another thing, when I moved in my house did not have any blinds. It did not have any curtains. So that's one thing you may forget, but you will remember when it gets dark. Or when you see people walking past your house and looking in your house. So that's one thing, blinds or curtains, that can be expensive if you have to supply blinds and curtains for every window. Now what I did was I put curtains in my living room, put blinds in my upstairs rooms. And in the basement, that was the last thing. And I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of spending money. So I put those paper blinds at my windows. I'll show you all a picture here if I can of right now what I have in my basement windows, and we actually just bought blinds to put in the basement now. And that can be a money saver until you have the funds to do so. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've been lazy and just haven't taken the time out to put blinds down there. I've been working from home in quarantine, so now I have the time to get things done around my house. So we actually just bought blinds for our basement. And I've been in my house for 7 years. Yeah. Don't judge me. So yeah, that's one thing. Lawnmower, or to schedule a landscaper to cut your grass. If you have a yard, you will need a snow blower or a snow shovel for when snow comes. If you live somewhere where you will get snow. We live in Chicago, so we get it all, honey. So we need a lawnmower, we need a shovel. We definitely will be investing in a snowblower. A snowblower can be kind of expensive, but thankfully for us, we don't have a lot of concrete to shovel in our house, so that's a good thing. Next, you will need salt as well for your ground when it snows, so you don't slip and fall, as well as your mail person or anyone that may deliver packages to your home. You do not want those people to slip and fall because they can sue, so you don't want that to happen. So you may live somewhere where the water that comes out of your pipes and faucet is hard water, and you may have to have a water softener system in your house, and I'll show you a picture right here of what that looks like. Only thing you have to do for that is to buy salt, if I'm not mistaken. Thankfully for me, where I live, we get water from Lake Michigan, and that's the system that runs to my house, so we don't have to worry about that. However, I'm sorry, call me bougie, whatever. I don't drink out the faucet, period. Anyway, we drink bottled water. So that's that. You could buy a purifier for your faucet. That's something we're gonna actually get into soon as well. That's something I wanna buy for our faucet so I can stop buying bottled water. Yes, you could do that as well. Next, whether you're a female, definitely a male, you want to get yourself a toolbox. So I got this toolbox, and you guys already know I love purple. So when I saw a purple toolbox, I'm like, I gotta have it. So this toolbox, I have, don't judge my nails, guys. It's time for me to get a manicure. But I have everything in here. Every freaking thing. I bought a set of Stanley screwdriver sets. It has flatheads. Like, it had a lot, okay? And this has came in handy. And these were all the screwdrivers and flatheads that came with it. Over the years, I have kept all the screws from anything we have bought in the past that came with extra screws just in case we need them. I even went and bought a container of screws. And let me show you. So this is actually what it looks like. It has different size screws in here. And this comes in handy if you need to nail something on a wall or whatever the case may be. Got this from Walmart as well. So I definitely highly recommend you get one of those. You also should get some measuring tape. You may need this. If you need to buy blinds or curtains, you're gonna need to measure your window, the inside of the window from top to bottom for length and horizontally for your width. So you're gonna need a measuring tape, but it goes 25 feet. I think I got this from Home Depot. But yeah, this is good to have because all the blinds that I just bought for my windows in the basement, I had to measure them. Also, you will need drill, okay? You're gonna need a drill. Like my husband, for our party, we replaced our curtain rods and both of our windows here in the living room. Let me see if I can show you guys. So this here, my husband replaced our curtain rods. We got new curtains in our living room here. And he needed a drill. Okay, so this is gonna come in handy. It comes with a charger, and you push this button here and it comes off like that. And you just put it back on. And actually when you charge it, you're gonna actually put the charger on this here. And like I said, it goes back on here like that. I don't do none of this stuff. My husband does it, but I know how it works. Next, you need a flashlight. Okay, being a homeowner, there are gonna be storms or whatever the case may be, and your lights will go out. You're gonna need a flashlight or some candles. I would say flashlight because you don't want to start a fire, because you're gonna eventually maybe have to go to sleep if your lights go out at night. So I definitely recommend you get a flashlight. You can get this at Walmart, Home Depot, Menards, whatever. Next, let's move along here. So this here, I bought this for my outside water hose, faucet, whatever you call it. You actually would use this in the wintertime to cover them so your pipes don't freeze. So you actually would wrap this little circle part here onto your faucet, and then you would yank this and then push this button here and tighten it up onto your faucet side. So I've been using this a lot. So this is good for winterizing your home when wintertime hits. Here in Chicago, we do get below 0 temperatures here, so I do not want my pipes to ever freeze, because if they do, your pipes will burst, water will be everywhere. It is very expensive to repair, so I do not want that happening. Next, you can winterize your home with this. I got this from Home Depot. It's basically plastic to wrap around your windows to avoid air coming in. So that is, especially if you have older windows, you may have air coming in. I have older windows, so I do have air coming in. You also want to get the strip to go in between your door. I'll put a picture here of that as well, to block air from coming in between the cracks of your doors. That's a lifesaver. I notice in my house, I get more air in the wintertime in my kitchen. I don't know why, but I do. That's something we definitely need to get fixed, because that can help reduce the amount of heat that I need to run in my house in the wintertime. So make sure you pay attention to that. Also, people may forget this, you're gonna need light bulbs, preferably energy saving light bulbs. So you're gonna need light bulbs for your lights in your home. You'd be lucky if the previous homeowners kept all the light bulbs in your light fixtures in your house. But even if they did, a light is gonna eventually blow. Next, you're gonna need some smoke detectors and some carbon monoxide detectors. Definitely get those, and definitely see what batteries that they take. Some, you may not need a battery. Some, you could just plug them in a wall. However, if your power go out, they will not work. Usually still have it where you can put batteries in them, so in case your power do go out, at least the batteries can kick in. So definitely look to see what batteries your smoke detector and carbon monoxide detectors have. And I believe there are some that are combos, where it could be both a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector. And I'm actually going to show you all right now in my house where one is upstairs. They always say have one by the bedrooms too. So I have one right in the hallway, right where our 3 rooms are upstairs. So let's go upstairs now so I can show you. And then next, guys, I want to show you all this carbon monoxide detector. So this is the one here we have. And as you can see, it's set to 0, which means there's no carbon monoxide in my house. And if that number goes up from 0, then this alarm should be going off. Okay, so next thing. It's very important that you have a fire extinguisher, because if you start a fire, at least you have a fire extinguisher in your home to put the fire out. They can be expensive, but it's very important that you get one and learn how to use it. So that's very important. Next, is to have a ladder. You may need to reach something in the ceiling in your home to do something, and you can't reach it. So it's good to have a ladder in your house as well. And then lastly, you're gonna have a furnace in your house, guys. So you're gonna need an air filter to put in your furnace. Yes, and they always say it's good to get this kind, the one with these holes and the little metal wire. They say these help catch dust better. So definitely get you one. Depending on the brand you get, they can last in your furnace for 30 days or up to 90 days. I always get the ones that's 90 days because I always forget to change it. Yes, I always forget. And my husband definitely forgets. But you always want to look for this arrow here, and it tells you airflow. So you figure out which way the airflow is in your furnace, because that's going to determine which side, because you can see the sides are different, which side you need to put the air filter into your furnace. So keep that in mind. And also, there's usually like a little area for you to put the date. I don't see it on this one, but it's usually like a little area on here for you to put the date of when you put it in your furnace, so you will know exactly when you need to change it out. This one don't have it. However, the one that I have in my furnace now, I just wrote on it. So you could do that as well if it don't have that, but just keep that in mind. You learn which direction of airflow in your furnace, so you know which way to put it in. But that's it as far as items people usually forget. It's very important that you change your air filter in your furnace, because if dust gets in your furnace, it can damage it. I've been in my house for 7 years. It'll be 7 years actually in September. And everything in my house is pretty old. as far as appliances and everything. So since I've been in my house, I've had to replace the dishwasher. I've had to replace the washing machine. I've had to replace the furnace. I've had to replace the hot water tank. So yes, it's very important that you get all these things serviced and looked at just to make sure they are properly working. Definitely get them serviced when you first move in. So now guys, let's go into the information and tips that I'm gonna give you guys for moving into your house that can possibly save you some money and heartache and stress, okay? So let's just get to it. You need to find out when garbage is picked up, okay? At my house, garbage is picked up on Mondays. So my husband knows to take our trash can and put it out in the street. Where I live, we don't have alleys. In the city of Chicago, they do. So that was pretty something different for us to get used to when we moved in the suburbs. Depending on your village or area, they could be picky in particular or what you put out at the garbage can. So you want to find that out. For instance, my home, they would only take one big item. Yes, they would only take one big item. So if you put a whole bunch of big items out there, chances are those other items will not be picked up by the garbage guy. So yes, so keep that in mind. You need to find out all the specifics with the garbage company. And you want to find out how often your water bill is due. For me, my water bill is due every other month. I believe in Chicago, the water bill is due every 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Some people are due every month. So you want to find that out so you can plan ahead. Also, you want to get your gutters cleaned. For new homeowners, they may not know what that is. So this is what a gutter looks like. It's on the outside of your house and it's on the outer side of the roof or top of your home, and it's usually filled with debris and leaves, and it's good to get that cleaned out so when it rains, any water don't leak into the foundation of your home, like getting ceiling leaks or anything like that. So that's good to get clean. Also, to go back to the water softener, you need to find out how that operates. Like I said, I don't have one in my home, but you need to figure out how that operates. I know you have to buy salts for it. You need to figure out, is there a specific kind of salt? Can you use the salt that people use during the wintertime to put down on the ground for when it snows? Can you use that salt? I don't know, but you want to find that out. It may need to be serviced. I don't know, but you want to look into that. A lot of things like that usually do. Also, I feel like I've had every experience in my home, probably in the first 3-4 years, that some homeowners who've been in a house 10+ years haven't even experienced, okay? Like I said, I've had to get my furnace replaced, my hot water tank replaced, my washing machine, my dishwasher, all replaced, okay? And I have experienced some very stressful moments in my house, okay? And the number one thing was my home flooded. My basement flooded 3 times. My basement flooded the first year I moved in. I moved in September. I believe it might have flooded that same month or the following month. Then I think the year after that, it flooded, I believe that October and that December. Yes, in December in the wintertime. Well, fall. Yes, it flooded. And I highly recommend, because of that, you don't put any important or precious items in your basement. And if you do, make sure they're high up, leveled. So if your basement do flood, they won't get damaged. In my basement, when I moved in, there was carpet in my basement. And I personally feel like that's the stupidest thing to install in your basement because of flooding. Because when our basement flooded, we had to rip up all that wet carpet. It was a mess. It was time consuming. We had so much garbage to put out for the garbage truck. And at the time, I wasn't the only home that flooded. A lot of my neighbors' homes flooded. So the garbage people were very busy that day. But yes, don't put any precious items in your basement. You also want to figure out, and this is probably something you should have figured out. This is definitely something you should figure out before you even purchase your home, to find out if your area is a flood zone, meaning does the area flood a lot. my area does. However, I will say that the past maybe 2 years, I guess the city and the water department has done something to improve the drains and stuff around here, because me or my neighbors' basements haven't flooded since. Your basement has a lot of moisture, meaning like it feels humid in the basement, or even if your basement do flood, it's very important that you get a dehumidifier. And what it does is, I'll show you a picture here of what it looks like. It's very heavy. I got it from Home Depot. It's gonna run you a couple $100s. So, and it sucks all the moisture out of the air, and it has a bin that all the water from the air, it goes into this bin in the dehumidifier, and you have to keep dumping it every so often. And it definitely works, because it was so much water going into in that bin in my house. So I definitely highly recommend someone get that if you get a lot of moisture in your basement, and if you experience flooding in the past. So definitely get that. Also, big tip, if you feel like your property taxes are high, there is a possibility you can get them reduced. Yes, I have reduced my property taxes twice since I've been in my house, and it has been a lifesaver. You know, your city more than likely is probably overcharging you for property taxes, so you want to contact a property tax firm. I forget the name of it, but you want to contact them and have them investigate to see if you can save money on getting your taxes reduced, which is appealing your property taxes. Typically, they usually don't charge you until they find out they can save you some money and reduce your property taxes. So up front, you usually don't have to pay anything. I know the company that I used in the past, I didn't have to pay anything. And it takes time. It literally can take up to probably like 6 months or a year before they have an answer for you. So you have to be patient with that. But there is a possibility you can get your property tax lowered. You just have to look into it. Also, learn your piping system in your house, in your basement. You want to find out where's your shutoff valves in your house. If your house flood, for instance, when my hot water tank went out, it literally flooded our basement. Water came spewing out of the hot water tank, and my husband had to find out, because we didn't know. He's never owned a home, never have I. So he literally had to find out which pipe, which shutoff valve in the basement turned off the water for the entire house. So you want to find that out. And let's go in my basement. I'm gonna show you the pipes and the different pipes and how it's very important for you to know what is what. Okay? These are the shutoff valves. So this is what I was saying you have to familiarize yourself with to learn which shutoff valve turns off what water source in your house. So it's very important that you learn that as well. So when an emergency happens, you know what to do. Also, some homes have a sump pump, which is a pump. I'll put a picture here of what that looks like. My home doesn't have one. Thankfully, I don't have any issues with this, but sometimes when it rains, water gets under the foundation of your home, right under your home, and water can seep into your house. And the sump pump pushes that water back out of your house through a hose, and it goes safely away from your house. My neighbors have that. I don't have one. However, what I do have for my house is an ejector pump. It's kind of like a flood system. It's in my yard. We're actually going to go out there now, and I'm going to show it to you. It's actually an ejector pump. So this is actually what has saved my home from flooding. So what happens is my house kept flooding because when it rained a lot, it would rain so much that the water system in my neighborhood and city couldn't keep up with flushing out the water and keeping the water away from my house in the drains, and it would back up. It's a drain in my basement that the water would back up through. And literally, when my home flooded the first time, the water was literally almost up to my knees. Yes, almost up to my knees, and I'm 4'11", very short. But the water went up to my knees. It was a lot of water. So now, Like the third time it flooded, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm not gonna keep going through this. So I'm like, you know what? Let me figure this out. So I hired a plumber, and they the ones who told me that's a flood system in your yard. Had no idea that's what that was. You know, I thought it was just a sewer from the city drainage system, which it is. However, I have an ejector pump in my yard, so whenever there is a lot of water in the drains, that water pushes that water away from my home. So all I had to do was replace the ejector pump. It ran me probably like $500. Got that replaced. My house has not flooded no more since we got that done. So knock on wood, it never happens again. So that was a lifesaver, and that has kept water from being backed up in my house. So let me show you guys the flood system in my yard. So this sewer here, so I'm finna open this up. Hopefully I can do it without my husband's help, because it's pretty freaking heavy. This is like an iron top here. Okay. So of course it has spider webs and everything. But if you look close, hopefully you guys can see it. It's right there, down there. Ooh. It just scared the shit out of you guys. See, if water just came through there and it's just doing its thing. So that noise lets me know it's working. And I wish you guys could see a better view, but this is actually where my ejector pump is in my yard. I want to show you guys the drain that kept backing up in my home, allowing my basement to flood. Hopefully I can show you guys. So this drain here was actually the drain that was allowing the water from the city drains back up in my home. Because if you can see here, this is my back door, so it would flood down there and seep into my house. It was a mess, guys. It was a mess. So that's the drain there. And I also bought this here from Menards, so any like big debris or anything wouldn't clog this hole. So I highly recommend, if you have a drain like this in your back, to get some type of covering for it to avoid this getting clogged. Okay guys, so also you want to familiarize yourself with your breaker box, as well as label each breaker so you know which breaker turns on which light and power in your home. Thankfully for me, the previous owners already had this labeled, so I didn't have to do that. So yeah, you definitely want to figure that out so you know. Okay guys, so we're here in my dryer. So as you can see, it's lint already right here. So this is the little lint trap. Look at this. Believe it or not, this is lint and dust from my laundry. Now look at this. Look at this. Now I tell my husband to try to remember to change this as well, and he don't. So this is literally a whole freaking sheet of lint. Yes, of lint from my freaking dryer that needs to go in the garbage. So guys, it's very important that you do this before this happens. This is freaking lint. It's garbage. And this can mess up your dryer if you don't clear this out. Like I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. Like it's a lot of stuff to remember being a homeowner, but guys, we gotta do it, okay? Now I need to get this. I have to go brush this off, the rest of this lint, because it's kind of stuck here. But yes, this is the end result. So do better, guys. And I also get down in here with my little duster and dust any extra lint out of here as well. Guys, as you can see, my dryer was a mess. Okay, all right. And I had to just go tell my husband about himself and check myself as well that all this was lint. Like, he was freaking stunned, and it's like flying by my face. Okay, last thing I want to recommend to you guys, and a lot of people don't know about, is a home warranty coverage. Now, like I said, when I moved in my house, a lot of my appliances warranties had expired. So if you get a home warranty coverage, it would extend the warranty on your appliances and items in your home. So I'm gonna put a picture right here of some items that a home warranty can cover. So I am with American Home Shield, and I have a combo coverage. So my coverage, and this is actually the picture that I'm putting right here, my coverage covers my stove. So just to go back, if my stove or any appliance permanently stop working, all I have to do is pay my deductible, which is $100. You get to pick your deductible. I think it's like $75, $100, or $150. And you pick your deductible, and that's actually the amount you would pay when somebody come out to do a repair or for you to replace an item in your home. So if my stove, for instance, permanently goes out, all I have to pay is $100, and they will install me a new stove. I love it. Now, of course, you can save your money to do this, but if you don't have a lot of money in the bank, or if something goes out all of a sudden and you need it to be done and you want it installed and all that is included with my home warranty coverage. So the things that I've gotten replaced in my home since I've had it is my dishwasher and my washing machine. And I also have included in my coverage now furnace, hot water tank. It even covers a freaking garage opener. But it covers everything, plumbing, electrical. Like, you can't beat that. You really can't, because some of these items are thousands and thousands of dollars to get fixed and repaired. So it's very good to have it. And like I said, definitely if you don't have a lot of money sitting in the bank for emergencies like those type of things. And I'm telling you, being a homeowner, your emergencies can be back to back. So it's very important you have these type of coverages just in case numerous and a whole bunch of things go wrong at once. If you're covered, you're good. I'd rather pay $100 than $10,000. I'm just saying. So that's all I have for you guys. I really hope these things that I mentioned and tips and items that I mentioned will help you when you move into your new home. Be sure to like this video and comment below. Let me know if you're a homeowner, if you're finna buy a home, if you have any fears. A lot of my friends who buy homes, they always come to me and ask me questions, so feel free to ask me anything in the comments below. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.